I used to cry in the office bathroom, wondering if this was really it. I had the salary, I had the job title, but I felt completely disconnected from who I was. Listen to the rest of this video to find out my journey from being a stuck and stressed corporate lawyer to now owning my own coaching business and working on my passions every single day. So, welcome, guys, wherever you are listening, whether you're listening from YouTube, whether you're listening from my podcast, or whether you're listening from elsewhere. I am so excited to share with you my journey from being a lawyer to stepping completely into the unknown and going in on my business full time, working as a coach, mentor, and a creator. So, for those people that are wondering, is this really my life? Is this it? Is this desk, this spreadsheet, this keyboard, this crappy coffee in my work kitchen, is that all that I am meant to do with life? And the answer is no, it is not. But most of the people on this planet decide that this is it. This is all I should be doing. I worked very hard in my life to get my degree and to get to where I am. And so this is where I'm going to just stay. I'm just not going to do anything else. Let me tell you something. Those people will never go far in life. You won't go far in life if you have that attitude. Yes, you worked very hard to get to where you got to. That's certainly the case for me. I worked very hard to get my law degree. I worked endless hours of the day. And then when I qualified as a lawyer, the endless hours continue. I'm recording this video right now at midnight. No matter what path you decide to take in life, you're going to be working hard. You're going to be working hard. You're going to put the steps in place. But you know what? You know what the 1% people do? The 1% make the sacrifices right here, right now, that the 90% don't, to then live a life that only the 1% can live. That's the truth. So let me share a little bit about my story, because you're probably listening to this and you're thinking, okay, like, how did she get the confidence? How did she get the courage just to like leave her job, leave her 6-figure salary and do something completely different? So here is where it all started. I was the first generation in my family to go to university. My parents were so proud of me. Partly, my journey into law was driven by their desire to see the last kid in their family actually make it to university, because my older brother and sister didn't. So I was their final chance to make that dream a reality. And I did. I went to university, I studied law, I achieved the top grades in my year 2 years in a row. I came out of university with a first in law. And I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off. I landed my dream job as a commercial lawyer by the age of 21. And let me tell you, by the way, anyone that decides to go on the law path will know how competitive it is. It is so competitive. It was really competitive when I was going through this. I don't know what it's like now, if it's worse, but it was insane. And I did not go to a Russell Group university. I didn't have that privilege. I don't want to call that a privilege, but it kind of is. It puts you at an advantage when you do go to a Russell Group, because that's what law firms tend to favor over non-Russell Group universities in the UK. So the odds were even more stacked against me, because I didn't go to a Russell Group. I went to the University of Greenwich, and I felt like I had to hustle a lot more to actually get out there and build connections with people in the industry and make it. It was insane, because I managed to manifest my dream role. I got the training contract at an international commercial law firm, and I started my training contract pretty much as quickly as possible, as quickly as one could. I qualified at the age of 24. Now, the journey didn't end here, because my firm actually sent me on secondment to Dubai, and that's where my journey continued. So I actually moved to Dubai halfway through my training contract. Ended up spending a year in Dubai because it was during COVID. So this became my life. This is where my journey started in Dubai. And I qualified as a lawyer in Dubai. I had a six-figure salary, tax-free, and I had a beautiful apartment. I had a white Mercedes. I had all the things, all the material things you could think of. And on the outside, life seemed great. Life looked great. If you probably looked at my Instagram profile, you'd think that I'm living the high life. But this was actually my reality. I literally cried almost every single day up until the point that I actually left my job. And that was because I just felt so stuck and unfulfilled. Despite achieving all the material things in life and even more, it was never really, I never really actually thought about moving to Dubai. It was never like something that was on my agenda or list of things, but it just happened. I'm glad that it did. And it helped me in so many ways and shaped me into the person that I am right now. And ultimately, I reached my breaking point. I just could not do it. I just felt so stuck and unfulfilled. And there was a moment where I remember walking on the Dubai Canal and thinking, is this really it? Like, why do I feel this like deep void inside of me? I felt this deep void and I couldn't explain where or why it was happening to me. And then this question came through my body and it said to me, Sophie, who are you without this job and without this title? Who are you? And I didn't know the answer to that question. I really did not know the answer, and that scared the living daylights out of me. And that is when I made it my ultimate priority in life to understand who I was, understand what I was good at, understand my passions, and find something more fulfilling. Find a more fulfilling career path. And that was the journey that I took. And I went on that path. It took me many years. I started just listening to podcasts, reading books, expanding my outlook on life in these various ways. And from there, it just led me into other areas. And then I started networking in Dubai, meeting different types of people. And then I had this tiny voice inside of me that said, why don't you try life coaching? So that was when I started my life coaching journey, and I took a course in April 2024. So I took the next step. I came across human design, which is a spiritual modality that helps you understand your unique energy. And I took another course. I invested some money into becoming a certified human design reader. I invested in some mentors and coaches to help me on my journey in actually understanding more about myself and building my business. And I just took one step forward at a time. And that was really all it was. It then got to January 2025. I was literally at my breaking point. I was really stuck and unfulfilled in my role. And I outgrew it. I start questioning everything and feeling like something's about to change here. And that's when I decided to finally take the leap. And at the end of February 2025, and go full time on my coaching business. Now, let me tell you, I had no plan. I did not have many clients at all. I did not have the desired income. I did not know where I was going to live, what I was going to do with my life, like where was my life going to go? How quickly was I going to become successful? I had no plan, nothing. And yes, of course, that was scary as hell. But the scarier thing was eventually staying in an environment that really made me feel emotional. It made me feel anxious. It made me feel stuck every single day. And I decided that I just couldn't put up with it anymore. I just knew that I was being put on a different path and that my path wasn't meant to be that anymore. So this is me now. I'm showing up in my content. I have a podcast. I'm doing the work. I'm building my business. I am also showing up on other people's podcasts and I'm working with clients. This is me. You can see the glow up, right? And it's been a journey. It's been a massive journey, guys. This didn't happen overnight. And so maybe you're sitting there thinking, well, you obviously are very confident and very brave, and I'm just not. But here's the thing, there is actually nothing different between you and I. Just to remind you again, I did not have a clear plan of what my business was going to look like. I did not have a sufficient number of clients. I did not have a clear idea of where I was going to live. I had no clue. I completely have stepped into the unknown. And there is nothing that is different between you and I. Now, I'm definitely not saying if you hate your job that you should leave and you should quit and you should just go deep into the unknown, because my journey has taken many years. But ultimately, this is actually an awakening and exploration journey. And this is what makes me very different to your average career coach, because a lot of the work actually starts from healing and curiosity. It's the inner work to understand who you are, what you love, to understand, okay, what was I brought on this planet for? Like, who actually am I? What was I brought here for? This is exactly the type of questions that were going around my head so much. And that is where I always started on my journey. I didn't start from hard strategy of, okay, well, I've done law, so maybe I could step into another consultant role and I could maybe transition into doing this instead and that. I mean, yes, I could do that. But fundamentally, what I started with was my passions and my purpose. And this is where I incorporate human design, because when I started to know what my human design was and my gene keys, which are spiritual modalities, then things started to make more sense to me. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. How could I start building this into a career where I can actually thrive? And that changed everything for me. So here are my key takeaways for you. If you are desiring change, if you are desiring to take on a more fulfilling career path, number one is you don't need to burn it all down at once. You don't need to decide that I'm just going to give everything up. Just take one step forward at a time. You may be feeling very scared because you've worked so hard for this career and you've spent your entire life doing it, just like I did. And then you're like, well, what's the point in me leaving? And let me tell you, whatever you've gained in your life, in your career, it's not gone to waste, because you can always go back to it if you need to or if you desire to. But that was a stepping stone to where you're going to get to next. Think about it. If I didn't do law and I did something completely different, maybe I wouldn't be a coach, because part of the trauma that I had was from being in a very masculine, very toxic sometimes environments in the legal industry where it didn't resonate with me. And I came away feeling like, whoa, I understand so much about what other people go through as well. And this is why I'm here to instigate change. This is why I'm here to awaken people. So imagine if I didn't do law, then I wouldn't be here. If I didn't have the financial resources that law gave me, I wouldn't be here or doing this. You just don't know. And so nothing ever goes to waste. Number two is your passions were never random. So maybe you had certain passions or interests in your life from a young age and you didn't know what, you can't remember what they are right now, but you had something. And then you shut them down. Those do not go to waste ever. I have incorporated my passions from when I was a kid in actually doing public speaking. And I found a love in incorporating it back into my life again through my work. And I also used to love drama and theatre. And that plays a huge role in actually speaking in front of people, because there's an element of performing when you do content creation and when you get on a camera. And so that's my example. But whatever your passions and interests were from your childhood, they're not random and they are not coincidence. And fulfillment does not come from titles. It comes from alignment. I experienced this very, very hard in my life, that you can have everything that you want. You can have everything you desire in the material world. but it never, ever will match the true alignment and true authenticity of who you are and what you came on this planet to do. So the truth is, your path is not going to be linear, but it's yours. And that's what makes you so, so powerful. So now you may be wondering, well, what are my next steps? Let me introduce you to my online Fully Expressed Academy, which is my flagship course that takes stuck and stressed corporate women, gives them all the tools and all the trainings that they need to create a career that lights you up and feels authentically like you. As you can see, this course is split into 4 phases and spans over 30 different modules. And the best part is that you will get lifetime access to everything in here and all the bonuses that come along with it as well, that take you on the journey of all of the mindset, energetic, and hard skills that you need to take you to that 1% woman that is here to be successful in a career that she loves. So you are going to see all the details in the caption on how you can join. And this is not just any average course. You get access to group coaching as well every single week, where we discuss different topics. We do hot seat group coaching where you can bring any topical issues, anything that you want to discuss, and also to hold you accountable. This is a community where we hold each other, and you will go along this every step of the process so that you don't feel alone. You don't feel like you're the only one in this environment that feels different, that feels confused. So please check the links in the caption to find out more details. And I'm also dropping a free guide on how to connect your passions to a fulfilling career if you just want something light and easy to get you started. I want to end on this by just saying, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling stuck, you are not alone. You are just in the process of seeking your clarity. And this state that you're in is pushing you to explore a path that feels more aligned, that feels more alive, and feels like what you're meant to be doing.